polka is huge in Buffalo. A lot of like Buffalo weddings, they do a polka dance, and is the wildest shit you'll ever see. Just, 90-year-old ladies drunk as shit on vodka, jumping around and dancing in the line. Hey, this is Mike Jacobs from On the Cinder, and you're listening to the Chronicles of Podcast.
Hello world, Wednesday 13 here.
Hey, this is Tom Stain.
Hello everybody, I'm Ronnie Ledrew.
Yes, my friends, my name's John Mahon.
What's going on, everybody? It's Tom.
And it's Jamie. Welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this week we are back with a brand new interview. This week we bring you the bass player of an incredible punk rock band who is here today to talk all about their upcoming UK tour this July. So put on your bravest new face. Put your boredom into stasis as we help you coping with that boredom and bring you this week's guest. That was bad. I owe you a hollow apology for that one. Everyone, put your hands together as we bring you Mike Jacobs for the Chronicles of On the Cinder.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for having me. I will definitely be sharing this episode for like all 5 people that will get every reference you just dropped. Thank you.
Yes, that's five people, 10 ears. It counts. It's fine.
Mike, before we even got started, you mentioned that you're a big Newcastle United fan. I'm intrigued massively as to how you discovered Newcastle United, and obviously you're going to be playing there in July, but still, like, why Newcastle?
Well, I'm just a sucker for the Saudis, I'm just kidding. Basically, yeah,
Great start.
Been following the team for like 4 seasons, and when I was just looking for different things to occupy my time when I was getting sober, I quit drinking in like 2021-ish, and football was a great way to like still get together with my friends and drink like 0 beers and have something to like channel my frustration and energy and things I love into. And I just kind of fell in love with all the players. I know there's a lot of drama around the ownership and I was a little bit later than all of the drama that really happened. I just fell in love with the players. I love the jersey. I love the fan base. I even went down to an exhibition when they came and played Aston Villa 2 summers ago in Philly. And I've been adamant about, I watch every game, or I at least check the score, and I see what snippets of it I can. Always watch the highlights. I know they're a very controversial team, but I have some distance from it, which is nice. Being, over the pond, I guess. So I have my own fan base, which is probably my own fandom that is different than probably everyone over in England. Just my experience is very different.
It's amazing how we'll have the NFL over here. We'll have the NFL come and have some games over here. And now all of a sudden the Premier League's now going the other way. And it's just like you're getting to experience that as much as we get to enjoy American football. I fucking love American football, just to throw it out there. Are you a Bills fan?
Oh, yeah. Bad. Like Newcastle, like that is something I've really found support in with the fan base. My friend Alex Spielman was the one that he's been with them for decades, and he was like, you should follow this team. So Alex Spielman was my guy who got me into it. But with the Bills, it's life. In Western New York, where we live, it's like you bleed the Bills. Yeah. And they had a 17-year playoff list streak where they had a drought. They were just terrible. But the fan base kind of evolved and was able to stay connected to the team just because everyone appreciated having a national team in such a small city. Like Buffalo is only about 1 million people. I live in the next city over, which is Rochester, New York, and it's the same market. It's like these 2 million people just avid for this team.
And Josh Allen.
Oh yeah.
I hope he gets a ring, man. I really hope he gets a ring. I can't stand Kansas City. I'm a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, just to throw that out there. Big because of Kurt Angle. When I was a kid, I was a massive Kurt Angle fan, and he's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as we know. So that's literally why I'm a Steelers fan.
Okay. If you're a big wrestling fan, I believe the Butcher. I don't know how closely you follow wrestling still,
AEW, yeah, Butcher.
Andy Williams from Every Time I Die
Yeah.
is the Butcher. And so if you need a reason to latch onto the Bills as well, Andy Williams is from Buffalo.
I just want to see Josh win a ring because I think he deserves it.
I can't talk about that. I'll get emotional.
Okay.
And we just started, so.
Yeah, sorry, Mike. Anyway, I was just intrigued because I thought obviously being from around that area and whatnot, and I thought you'd be diehard Bills fans. But I love that you're a Newcastle fan. I think that's phenomenal. They can still finish second this year. I think that's incredible for what Eddie Howe has done for that team and that club. You know, and obviously they won their first trophy in like 47. Jamie can't join in on sports; he doesn't watch them. So I'm just going to. But Mike, how actually has your Wednesday been so far? Obviously, you've become a dad for the second time. Massive congratulations. Jamie can relate to that. So yeah, well, how's your personal Wednesday been?
It's been pretty good. Yeah, it's my daughter was born 2 weeks ago.
Amazing.
So all this planning for this UK tour has been a little tricky because I booked the first date 10 months ago, and my daughter was conceived 9 months ago. So like it's just been like, you know, on the Cinder is a huge part of my life, and it's like my main passion. And you know, my wife understands that it's a huge commitment for me, and like I do so much in organizing, and I do a lot of the band is 3 people, Tyler and Jason, and we all work really hard together with our touring, with our songwriting, and we also release our own music through Flower House Records. So we're a DIY operation. It's all on us, and it's just been a part of my life, a huge part of my life for 12 years. And I just always like taking new steps. This will be our first time in the UK. We've toured Canada relentlessly because we're in Buffalo, which, you know, just you cross the bridge and you're in Ontario, Canada. So we go to Canada all the time. So yeah, we're so stoked to be coming to the UK finally.
Amazing. So how we like to start these things, Mike, is we take it right back to start. Back when you were growing up, young Master Jacobs, you could say. What did you want to be when you were growing up? Has it always been music for you, or was it something completely different?
It's weird because neither of my parents played music, or my dad was a huge music fan. They had me really young, and my dad had basically every college rock CD you could have from the 90s. So I grew up on my dad's CDs like Blues Traveler, Spin Doctors, and of course he had Green Day, Dookie, and a lot of just that early 90s stuff when my dad was like still in his early 20s, kind of still getting his life together, his identity. Like that music that he latched onto was definitely my start being interested in music. And in like middle school, I found that like I want to play music because I need my own thing. Like I grew up playing sports, mostly like soccer and basketball and football seasons here and there, American, and soccer is what we call football to you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I needed my own thing. I had friends that played guitar, and I was like, I listen to all these CDs all the time. I kind of started my own like rabid like addiction to having CDs. Like I would dive into used bins, and just anything that looked kind of pop punk or punk rock or like alternative, I would just take it and, you know, spend whatever $3 to get the CD. So I had just binders and jackets and just sheets on sheets of CDs. And so I was a big music fan. And then probably when I was like 12, I started guitar lessons and just made good friends. And I found like my people in music that I'd stay with through middle school and high school, and even college. And I finally got to college and I was like, I don't really want to study. I want to play in a band. And here I am.
It's amazing. So what was it about the bass that drew you to want to play the bass then if you were doing guitar lessons?
It's the classic story of you got two guitar player friends that want to play a band, and you're like, who's a little bit better? You're the lead guitar player now, and I'll learn how to play bass. And I've really loved bass and playing, and I would not say I'm a savant by any means, and I definitely need to practice more than I do. But I've always been like a chords guy, like playing a lot of acoustic music. I would like jam with like my mom's boyfriend and his group of friends, and I was always just hammering away with like, CDE, or I hope no music fans are listening. I like CGD, GCD, 135, whatever. And no, 134. Please edit this out. But I just I grew up enjoying playing with people so much, and that was like the thing that I wanted to carry on in my life more than anything professionally or anything I studied. I was like, I love to play music and I love to travel. So the band has been my outlet for like things I want to express, and also a great excuse to have adventures.
Oh,
Amazing.
I love that. Incredible. Who influenced you though? Obviously you said your dad had like Green Day and Spin Doctors and stuff like that, but when you were growing up, who were you listening to and going like, fuck, I love this? Or was it just literally a plethora of anything?
The Game Changer. I'm sure like any punk rock guy that comes on is like Dookie. Dookie was like what changed my life. Dookie was just like pop radio because my dad had the CD and it was on all the time. But I had my first like girlfriend when I was 12. You're the girl you learn to kiss with, I guess. And her mom was a big punk rocker, and she was like, I know you like punk. You should really listen to this. And she hands me a copy of And Out Come the Wolves by Rancid.
Oh.
And that was just enlightening. Like, I was already such a CD jockey, just like with my Walkman, just I had friends on the bus, but I was like in my own zone listening to music. This is my only time to be like alone all day. And I was like, that CD being like, what is it, 19 tracks, 17 tracks? It's very long.
It's a lot, yeah.
And I would just listen to it through. And I love that it was a band that the singer kind of sucked. Like his voice is not traditionally good, but
no, I get what you mean.
But the songs are so good. And also having Lars as the dual vocal, it's like every song has so many layers, and just I was really inspired because I was like, I know I can't be the best singer ever, but this band like does so much with two vocalists. Like, even though Tim Armstrong's voice, it's its own thing, but it sounds so good with that music. And it made me feel like I could also try to sing in a band. And I do try. I try.
I get it completely, because obviously I'm a big fan of the Sex Pistols, and let's be honest, Johnny Rotten can't sing for shit, but it works with that music, and you wouldn't fucking change it because it's perfect for what it is.
Sex Pistols are just they probably mean a lot more to you guys, but like they're just like a seminal band. They're like they're up there with Ramones to me. Like I like some of their music, and it's you know, I just think I was a little too young to catch them. Just, because they were a 77 and prior
Yeah.
band. So like, I have respect for them. Except for Johnny Rotten now.
Oh, as a person, he's fucking awful. Yeah, I just like his music. As a person, Jesus Christ, a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he's big on Trump, I think. He's very weird.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, Mike. I'm just so sorry.
Talking about the Bills, or are you talking about our politics?
I'm talking about your politics. Both, actually, a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's a very complicated time in America. Like, I recognize my privilege being a cis white male, and so many people are just facing just problems that our government is challenging them with because they're not what I am. And I just try to support in the best ways I can. I try to know my place in certain arguments, and just trying to keep up with everything is really difficult. Like, Trump is literally flooding our media with just information. Like, he'll just say random things to make things busier, to kind of get away with more. Like, last week or 2 weeks ago, he talked about opening up Alcatraz prison, which has been a museum for like decades, and it closed because it was impossible to fix and very expensive to like upkeep. And that same week, we have ICE, which is the government agency that like upholds immigration. They have just been basically being his Gestapo and like rounding people up and deporting them. And it is so difficult to just wade through how much bullshit he's putting everyone through. And I'm not, the most outspoken political person. We have political aspects of our music, but I feel like I can say a little bit, whereas a lot of punk bands are not saying fucking anything right now. It's just a very difficult time to find, your voice and find ways to actually be helpful right now.
Yeah.
Bless you, man. We're with you. When you come over here in July, you're not going back, right? You do realize that's happening, yeah?
Man.
It's a proper cup of tea. No Trump. I'm staying.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. I've looked at Newcastle upon the Tyne and seen what the apartments are like. Maybe I could live in the North Country.
Yeah, it'd be cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap as fuck up there as well. So you'd be living the dream.
That's good.
But don't forget, he created the word equalize as well.
Oh, fuck's sake, that made me laugh.
What a load of shit.
What is it?
He said he created the word equalize yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, see, what's really wild about the American experience right now is that Americans are so bombarded with Trumpisms and information and the media cycle that like a lot of our friends in Canada know way more about what's going on in our government than most Americans do, because they're paying attention. Their government and their media is sifting through everything and looking at facts, whereas we just have rival networks that are like, they pitch their own stories, and pretty much it's like Fox News is the hyper conservative and then MSNBC is the hyper liberal. And Fox News just does whatever they can to support Trump's agenda and the conservative agenda, really. And so if there is something negative that happens in the government while Trump is in charge, they're like, Joe Biden really fucked this up. He made it bad for everyone. And then MSNBC, on the other hand, will be like, isn't that terrible that Trump did that? And then they just go through talking heads, like all these random people that are like giving their opinion of what happened. And they also get away from statistical information and making relevant points to like say more like hot take stuff, I feel like. So I find MSNBC can be not very helpful. I know CNN is still pretty like left leaning, which is good, I think, but just to counter how far off the other side Fox News is, I think CNN is kind of a decent middle ground for what is going on, but still, all of them are competing for ratings and views and shares, and every headline is to get your attention. It's for pop. It's to get people to click, and that's just our capitalist society, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. But let's talk about the band. Let's talk about On the Cinder, shall we? 2013, you guys came together. Did I read you were housemates?
Yeah. So right, I mentioned I live in Rochester, but I went to school at University of Buffalo, which is the biggest like state school in New York, and we all were playing music at the same time, and we kind of just fell into being roommates together. Tyler, the drummer, and I, we had played in a ska band prior, and we'd just been buddies through college, and it was pretty natural for him to be like, he was our couch guy at first. Like he's from Buffalo, so he was living from home, but his home was like half an hour away. So he would like sleep on my couch pretty much every day, and like just go home to do laundry. And then Jason came along with a couple other friends. He was also playing in a ska band. And then we ended up getting a house together. And we were like, man, we have 6 members in our ska bands, sometimes 7. And then you have like a 9-piece ska band. Could we just play music, the 3 of us, and like commit to that? Because it is way too hard to organize horn players in general, but that many people, like, needing 5 or 6 people to do a show is very challenging. So we cut and ran. We were like, this is what we're going to do now because it's easy and it's fun. And we're living together. We're roommates. Yeah, it's worked out really well. We get along super good still, even though our lives are very different from when we were college roommates, drinking every night, just partying our asses off and touring just whenever we could. To now, everything's more structured. Everything is like a part of our life. It's way more organized.
I just love the idea. Like originally in my head, it was you 3 guys living together, just each moving in as strangers. And the next thing like, you play that, I play that. Oh, let's start a band. Like a really bad sitcom.
I mean, if that had happened, there might be more talent in the band. But we were all in the same. We were all in the same like scene. So like Tyler is an excellent drummer. He gets a lot of love, and Jason is a very solid guitar player and very technical. And I carry my bass around, and we found a really good balance, I feel like, to construct songs that belong to On the Cinder, and it's I feel like we have a decently set identity as a band that is always kind of free floating. I know that's probably contradictory, but it's like we can add anything because it's only 3 of us, and we can always talk things out. And we always say like, we're trying something very different here in this new song, but it still sounds like us because it's like my voice, Jay's voice. We have very unique voices, whether they're good or not, I can't say. But like also Tyler's drumming is very distinct. So we have our own sound, not to be pretentious. It's more just like, that's our DNA.
reminds me of like proper 2000s though. It reminds me of like when you mentioned Outcome of the Wars by Rancid, like the bass lines I've heard in some of your tracks and stuff like that, and then the influence I can hear. You can hear early Green Day and you can hear Rancid in there. Do you know what I mean? There's some filthy bass lines in there, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I work really hard at my bass lines. Practicing, I need to do more. But when I'm writing bass lines, that I get very meticulous on. And with only having 3 people with 3 instruments, it's like you got to do something interesting, something creative. But thank you. That is way too gracious.
No, it's not. When I heard Illusions of Progress, I was like, holy shit, when that first started.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
At the end of Bravest New Face as well, there's all this beautiful little bass noodle in. I was like, oh, go on.
Thank you. Wow. You guys made my day. I'm glad we did this call.
Yeah.
See you later.
So a question I like to ask all bands, and I know this question gets thrown around all the time, but it's because I'm always intrigued by what came first. The name. Where does On the Cinder come from, but what did you have before you had that?
Ooh. It's really only ever been On the Cinder for the name.
Okay.
With us like living together, it came together really fast because like we practiced in the basement, each of our bands. So like our instruments were everywhere anyways, and we were always hanging out, and whether it was watching movies or listening to music or going to other house shows in the neighborhood, we would throw our own shows in the basement, and there was a nice little DIY scene like in our neighborhood. It was a very special time. It'll be in the book if we ever get around to that. Man, I'm drinking tea, so I'm not as sharp as I normally would be. What was the question?
Just how the name On the Syndicate, where did it come from?
Right.
And then, what did you have before then?
Sorry.
Yeah.
So we're immense like nerds, comic books and superhero movies. And back in 2013, there wasn't really much to go off of. A lot of the best stuff was still in books, in comic books. Like probably what Iron Man was out in 2008, and the shitty Hulk movie was the year after, and like we didn't have the saturation of Marvel and DC that we have now, and that we're kind of getting out of, which is nice. But we were all watching the movie The Watchmen, actually. And there's this scene. Do you guys know The Watchmen?
I've never seen it.
So the comedian is how would you describe him? He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero. Yeah.
He's an anti-hero. And there's a scene where everyone's come together when the team is still strong and they're saving the world and they're deciding how they're going to protect the world. And then the comedian like lights up the world map with a cigar or a match. And he's like, someday, Ozymandias, you'll be the smartest man on the Cinder. And we all looked at each other and were like, that's not bad. Like, it's not great, but it's different and no one else will do it. So it's a comedian from The Watchmen quote.
That's awesome. I like that. So like I say, people hear the band, they look at that, they wouldn't have guessed that's where the name came from. So that's fucking awesome. I like that.
Yeah, sometimes I worry it sounds, it's like trying too hard to be like metal or something, or like a biker bar kind of, I don't know, hot rod sort of thing. That's not what it means at all. That's just, everyone's self-conscious about their band name because you have to like latch onto something as soon as you start getting decent, because like if you change it midway, you'll just lose people. Like they'll be like, who the fuck is Orange Crayon? Like, no, we need to, was that old band I liked.
But haven't the Me First and the Gimme Gimme Gimme's just changed their name for some reason? I don't know why.
Oh, what I think is I think it's to change some publishing stuff. Like I think Fat Mike wants to get out of a lot of stuff and focus on things that just make him happy and make him have fun. So he's doing like a new label called Bottles to the Ground, and they release like Co-Defendants and the Meffs, who are from UK, I think.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think they changed the name probably for like copyright or publishing, because it really is just like pretty much Spike is the only original guy, and I wonder if they want to transition so that like, make it easier for paying band members rather than like the 30 guys that have been in the roster for all those
Yeah.
years. I mean, Spike is excellent. I think Me First and the Gimme Gimmes are a great like gateway band for a lot of, well, they were for me, for like younger punk rock kids. Not that the music they cover is really that I don't want to say relevant, but like, they play the hits that are from when they were young. And that's like, those guys are all in their 50s now, right? So they just, everything they do is great though. All their arrangements are spectacular. And they've always got all these Easter eggs in little songs to other punk rock songs that like punk nerds like me will pick up on and be like, oh, that's that Black Flag part. I love that. Like,
So you kind of segue beautifully into my next question there, because I was going to talk about songwriting. So there we are. So with you and Jason both doing vocals, does he write all the lyrics, or is it a collaborative thing, or how does that work?
It's a very collaborative thing. And actually Tyler is a huge stickler, we'll say. It's not that he has to read every line before we start like working on a song, but if he likes to like look the music over, and he'll be like, I don't know about this word here, or like, oh, this needs to be stronger. And we all have taken turns writing with this band. I do a lot of the writing, but some of the best stuff we've ever done that people latch onto and love is either like Tyler actually writes. When he does write, he's written some pretty like strong, like compounding stuff for us. Like he wrote our song Bravest New Face, and he just wrote like this essay about how he was feeling, and it came out as this poem that I kind of wove through and was like, hey, this is really good. Could we add something to like uplift the story, or like give some description here? So every song is very collaborative and like nitpicked through, which doesn't bother me. I think that's really important for bands to like keep going, is to have Jay says this all the time. Decide on the hill that you're going to die on in arguments and in discussions. And with us being together so long, I know what will pass with my guys, and they know what I'll fight for. So like, we're just do it all together.
Love that. Are the lyrics quite personal to you all then, or do you, being a punk band, I imagine you've got some political stuff in there as well, or do you make stories and that sort of thing? Like, what really is the consensus? Where's the inspiration?
I think we all write about different things. I write about like family and life development and friends. Tyler writes very like introspective things about like how he feels and his frustrations with the world. And Jay likes to Jay can be the same way. But Jay also likes to tell stories in his songs.
Okay.
Which I don't always think I'm very good at. I'll usually write, well, I do a lot of writing, and sometimes I don't write like the most coherent narrative. I'll write more emotionally based. And yeah, so it's very different. Like having the three people involved in the songwriting makes it very it can be random, it can be uh just challenging sometimes because like everyone's perspective is very different, but um yeah, every song is personal to me for sure.
Mm.
Even songs like I help arrange that like aren't my words, but like I'll help with, and I'm like I love our songs, and I think the guys aren't so attached to a lot of them. So when I'll pitch like something we haven't played in a while, and I'll write a lot for Jason, and I'll try to like write through his lens, like what I think he would say, what he would mean. And one such song is called "Board Up the Arcade," which was it's kind of about the closing of our house venue, and I wrote it and I thought, oh, this is going to matter so much to him. This is going to be really compassionate. And then I pitched doing it for a tour recently, and he's like, that song, I don't know. I'm like, what? I worked so hard on that, and there's so many little things in it that are just unique to him, and he's like, I don't know. So maybe he'll listen to this and feel guilted, and we'll do it. Hopefully. I love that song. But again, I'm a sucker for all of our stuff because I just am a huge part of getting it out in the world.
Yeah, go on, Jason. He wrote that song for you. You need to play it, Jason. Come on.
He
You
wrote
feel
a
bad
little
now,
bit
don't
of
you,
it.
Jason? So, when it comes to songwriting in sense of the songs, then do you do music first, then lyrics, or are you lyrics then music, or something completely bloody different?
It's a little weird for me because I am always lyrics first, but it's not anything until it has some music. Like I was saying earlier, like I grew up jamming on chords, and that's really how I got to feel like I could play music, is that I could play enough chords to sing the song along to. And yeah, it needs some structure. I'm not like a savant, or I'm not like a prolific writer. But who was this? Somebody super famous said that if you can't remember the lyrics to something, it's not a good song. Um, who said that? Maybe, yeah, I'll Google it later and then I'll text you guys.
Yeah.
That might have been like Woody Guthrie or something. But yeah, I'll usually have like a line in my head, and that'll be the whole basis of the rest of the song. But again, I don't have more until music is kind of developed and established a little bit.
Interesting. I love when we talk to bands, like everyone has a different way of doing it. And I love finding out there's different ways of people's minds work when it comes to this creative process.
Yeah. And the way music comes out now is so weird. Like we have always done vinyl. That's been a huge part of our band's identity. And it's been a way to like help us stand out a little bit. And also financially support more stuff that we can do. Like we definitely made commitments to like, paying into records, and we have our own label that we do everything through. So the money from the band goes to help the band in other ways. It's all incestuous, I guess. The money just like we take it and we use it and we make more and then we use it again. Incestuous might have been the wrong word, but it's a funny word.
It's very funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, I fucking belly laugh massively, so you're all good. But how has like the Buffalo punk scene like shaped your sound and identity as a band?
Buffalo is a huge music city. There's so much variety in like genres, and just so many different people are like actively playing music professionally or as a huge passion. So there's a lot of like not to use incestuous again, but cross breeding with bands and with artists and musicians that like just it's not so much like specific bands are influencing each other. It's, at least in our punk rock scene, it's more just that like the friends you make influence you more. Like we have friends that play in a polka band. Like polka's huge in Buffalo because it's like the second biggest city in America that has like Polish diaspora. So like next to Chicago, like Buffalo is like the densest Polish population in America as far as descendants go. So polka is huge in Buffalo. A lot of like Buffalo weddings, they do a polka dance and is the wildest shit you'll ever see. Just, 90-year-old ladies drunk as shit on vodka, jumping around and dancing in a line. Like there's so much variety. And like people in the polka band, they'll come to the punk rock shows and a lot of them will play in punk bands. Like that polka band's drummer plays in a great ska band, and the ska band plays with the punk bands. And it's there's a saying about Buffalo, it's keep Buffalo a secret. And I think some of that comes from just how deep set the people are there. Like this is our place, and just people understand each other and can be great friends to each other. So it's the city of good neighbors is what it's known for.
Oh,
Or it's the slogan, some dick came up with that years ago.
I was expecting you to go, it's really ironic. My neighbor's an asshole.
Yeah. But yeah, once in a while, through our history, there have definitely been punk bands that inspired us to like do more melodic stuff or do heavier stuff. Right now, like hardcore is enormous in Buffalo, and there are some really big hardcore roots in Buffalo with like Snapcase. They were a huge band in the 90s. Every Time I Die has done everything from hardcore to metal to like southern rock. So bands like that have kind of set the way, like set a tone in Buffalo that like you can be a little more aggressive, you can be a little raspier, and you can be more aggressive. Well, did I say that? Yeah. You can be just kind of like all out and guttural in ways. And but then we're also the home of the Goo Goo Dolls, so like you can write the most melodic poppy shit ever. There's just there's been huge names that give some direction, give some lens to what a lot of Buffalo musicians care about.
Awesome. So obviously, going from the past and your inspirations to current day, you're about to come over to here to the UK to tour your last album, Heavy Handed. So before I want to talk about the tour, I do want to briefly talk about the album. It's been out a year now. What's the feedback been like for the record?
It's been really good. We did the biggest pressing of vinyl we've ever done, just because everything with vinyl was complicated during the pandemic, as so many things were, but pressing plants were just immensely set back, and they also raised their prices immensely. So we were putting out our EP in 2021, and it was a nightmare. Like, it was so hard to figure out how we could afford it because, like, we weren't playing shows. We were in the lockdown. And so we found a way to, like, do a pre-order for that. And we were able to fund it with our own efforts and, crowdfunding, pre-orders, selling the record. And so we decided to just do a big lot of, like, 500 records. And we're already halfway through it. We found different creative ways to like get it out to people. This was definitely our best understanding of doing a like a virtual release. The virtual sounds so weird, but like, streaming and just using the internet as a tool to like, push the band, push the music. And with how DIY we have a shoestring budget. So we just have to be creative. We just have to find ways to like reach people without being annoying. And, we're not crawling into people's DMs like, hey, you should listen to this song. Hey, you should buy this record. So, so I feel good about myself. But like everything has worked out with the album. We hope at some point to work with a larger label. I've never talked about this, but our EP was included on a larger label's record club, but that record label has folded because it was run by Anti-Flag.
Oh. Okay. That's fair.
So we had some hopes of developing with that label, but I don't know. Somebody did many bad things, and so that can't exist anymore, which is for the best.
It's very definitely better doing it yourself than being on that 115,000%.
Yeah. Like there were good people that worked at that label, but just everything to do with the brand and the band is just completely tarnished now. It's like, not many people will talk about it either. Like, I have a friend in Pittsburgh, and like he's like, he has a podcast too, and he doesn't talk about it ever. He's never had a guest on that was like, "What's up with Anti-Flag?" But no one will talk about what happened. So it's weird. I don't want that story to be swept under the rug.
I'm not overly familiar with it, so hence why I'm just, I've heard about it, but I'm not overly familiar to give my own opinion right now, as it were. I
think if you're interested, some research. There's a huge Rolling Stone article about it, and it's over and done with. So moving on in the punk rock world.
There's bigger and better things out there for you, Mike. There's bigger and better things out there for you. Don't you worry.
For sure. Yeah.
For sure. Seriously.
Yeah. But this release has gone over really well. It's definitely reached the most ears we've ever been able to do, just through our own creativity, with our own we toured a lot and made more money and sold more records and sold a bunch of t-shirts. Like, just the more active we are, it seems just the more capable we can be. We're not like spinning our tires, which is nice.
Yeah. Are there any particular songs on the album that stand out to you? The ones you're like, yeah, that was I'm really proud of that one. That was great.
I actually just put a playlist together on Spotify, which isn't something I really do. I think Spotify is just like the evil empire, but like it's just as everyone says, a necessary evil, because that's where everyone is. And it's just, I don't worry about like being found on Spotify. I just want our people to be able to hear us. And that's why I encourage people to still use Spotify, even though it sucks. But I made this playlist, UK punks versus Americans abroad, which is an against me quote. And I was listening to our songs, like, Smells Like American Spirit has been like the biggest like tiny hit of our album. It was the lead track. It's got a cool name, and it seems like what people have latched onto the most. But putting this playlist together, I was like, there's some good stuff I haven't gone back to in a while. And like I was saying, how Jay can be like picky about certain songs or not be so hot on certain things. Going back and listening to tracks, it's really fun to like go back and be like, this is pretty good. I'm in a decent band. Like, it's all right.
I don't know how much you can talk about it, if there is anything, but is there actually anything new in the works? Anything new on the way, or can we not discuss?
Oh, we can talk about it. I mean, it's just the three-way partnership of On the Cinder and Flower House Records. We have a whole like new concept for release that we want it to be like a double EP, but to put one side of an EP, an entire EP of songs that are they all kind of belong together. They all tell a similar themed story, and then write a second side, not like a B side, like a second EP, and then have two covers to the jacket. This was like Tyler and Jay's idea of like doing, get two artists with the same concept and see what they come up with. And instead of doing like a track listing on the back of the album, we'll just do two covers. So it'd be like a double EP, which I think is kind of a fun idea because the songs don't need to relate to each other so much. And
Yeah.
with like streaming as it is, like, you know, people can just pick one song randomly, or they're served it up from their playlists or their algorithm. That, you know, a physical release can be whatever you want it to be now.
It's such a clever idea.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah.
I meant to ask, like you were saying, like you do the record label to release it, you do like all the bookings and everything like that. How did you learn to do all this stuff? Is it just research and teaching yourself, or did you have like help to learn all this stuff?
Man, just experience, and being willing to fail. Like so much of it is just like, hey, no one's gonna do it for you, and you want it bad, so go make it what it can be. I know that's a staggered kind of sentence, but just trial and error. Learn from everyone you can. My wife is a writer. She's a copywriter, and she's got this book that stuck with me. It's called Steal Like an Artist. And that quote has really inspired me over the years to learn from other bands, learn from people in music and in media. Like I'm inspired a lot by people just that put reels together. I'm not really on TikTok. We have it, I use it, but I'm not gonna go do a chicken dance to our new song. Like I'm not gonna fucking do that. But like reels are everywhere, and so I'll watch different content creators and see what they do to like get people's attention, and yeah, just try things, be brave. I do have one rule for social media and any just like media stuff. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. Like I've had phases where I felt like I got to post every day. I got to make a version of this video. I got to cut this song up 9 different ways and turn it into 9 TikToks. And it's like, this fucking sucks. And it doesn't matter. Like, like
So
if you
punk rock
can,
of you.
yeah, sure. like I want to be as big a band as we can be, but like you have to recognize your limitations, and you have to be authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I'll watch videos of bands doing like what they think is like a viral trend, and it's like, this sucks, guys. Why are you doing this? Like, you don't really want to do this. Just, I don't know. Some bands can sell it and like actually do a nice job of like, you know, being content creators and having fun. But our band is so much built on touring and, you know, DIY ethics of like video production and music recording and pressing our records. Like that's who we are, and we just find ways to, you know, touch into the ways to connect with people, but like everything you have to pay for to get in front of people now. Like paid ads. That's how Spotify algorithms are fueled now. Like if you look on YouTube, it's like, how do I make a hit on Spotify? And the person just like, all right, well, get your music on Spotify and then make a Facebook ad and make an Instagram ad, make a Reels ad, make a TikTok ad. And it's like, just the more money you plug into it, that's the vessel that will carry it. Unless it's an amazing song, like the biggest fucking song you ever heard. But like, what's the last punk rock song that came out that you're like, you heard it once and you're like, wow, that changed me? And that sounds so like contrived, but like the punk music I listen to, I fall in love with because of how it makes me feel and how it sounds. It's not like the one song that like, it's not like the radio anymore. Bands are a whole vibe now. Bands have to have their own brand, their own identity, their own sound. And it like, a band like Pup, I think, is like one of the better bands at doing this. Like they have their own sound, their all their merch and all the way they market themselves is very unique to them. And they have created this great animal, but like they put out so much music because it's part of who they are. They're not trying to like write hits. They care about like getting good records out.
It's crazy the way the music industry has changed. Like you look back to like my favorite bands growing up and reading their history. I'm like, and then what you have to do these days, I'm like, how is this the same industry? It's just so fucking different. It's unreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've I don't know. We've just found a way to do it our way, and some people that we can reach really enjoy it, and they're who fuel us really. I'm sure you guys do like so much of the marketing and just promotion of your show the same way. Like you guys have to cut up reels, and that's how you find people. Like I've loved your show because you guys put funny reels out. Like that's awesome. And like but everything is this weird like capitalist like machine you have to plug into now. And if you give yourself so much to it, it's like, who are you really? It's about being yourself and finding people that appreciate you for who you are.
Absolutely. I've always said, as long as I can sit down with my best friend, have a fucking laugh, talk to amazing people, and get cool life experiences, that's all that fucking matters. If other people listen to it, awesome. But that's what I'm in it for. Life experiences. It's just, it's great.
There's so much random shit that comes up, but appreciate you checking it out, my friend. And like, Jamie puts all the hard work into making everything behind this. It's true though. Tom turns up, talks shit, and fucks off. Jamie goes, right, better do 16 hours of editing now.
I love when dudes just gush. I love when dudes just gush on each other. They're like, "This is my best friend. I love everything he does, but fuck him anyways."
Mike, in just under 2 months, you are embarking on a journey over the seas to come and join us here in the UK for a good 2 weeks. You must be fucking buzzing for this.
Very much so. Yeah. Should I go over the tour dates real quick?
Do it. You start in Northwich on the 11th of July, but go for it.
Yeah. All right. July 11th, Northwich, which is kind of near Manchester.
Yeah.
Venue called the Salty Dog. The 12th, Liverpool at the Outpost. The 13th, we're in Newcastle. Hopefully gonna check out the stadium if they do tours.
They do.
We're playing at Trillions Rock Club that night. We're going up right away. We're playing Edinburgh at Bannerman's on the 14th. The Block or just Block in Glasgow on the 15th. Wharf Chambers in Leeds the 16th. Fighting Cocks. They're playing the Fighting Cocks in Kingston upon the Thames, which I think is like West London. Is that right?
Yes, near me. Yeah. Don't actually do
Okay.
what it says on the fucking front of the pub, though. Yeah. You don't need to
Okay.
actually fight with cocks. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's not a challenge. Put it that way, Mike.
Gotcha. 18th, we're in Reading at the Castle Tap. 19th, pretty much the show that got us over there is what's called the New Rock City Music Fest in Birmingham at a spot called the Sunflower Lounge. And then the 20th, our last day, we're playing the Signature Brew in Hagerstown.
Haggerston.
Okay. And that's South London?
It's
Right.
in London. Yeah, I think it's somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're pretty stoked. We're making sure we have all the documentation right. We need a sponsorship visa, which our friends Oh the Humanity from Boston, they did a UK tour last summer, and they've been integral in like with contacts and what to expect going over. So Oh the Humanity have been a huge help. Shout out to Archie Moss. He plays in a band called Clayface out of Manchester. He did the tour flyer for us. It's George Washington riding a buffalo on an iceberg that is floating away from the Empire, or is floating away from the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty, which are sinking, just like our country.
So I'm from Birmingham. The Sunflower Lounge is a beautiful venue. You get have a great time playing there. It's great.
Cool. Very cool.
But one thing I'm really intrigued as well is during our emails to set this up, you've mentioned you were doing market research for the tour, all about the UK. What's some things you've learned then about our glorious country? I'm intrigued.
Man, Brexit didn't just happen and it was over. It seems like Brexit has had really deep wounds in the culture and in the politics. I still know very little about it, but it just seems like you guys have your own slew of problems, just like we do over here. Not to touch on something very serious, but man, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of pop punk right now. And pop punk is definitely really popular out on the west coast of the US still, though like kind of East Coast is not so much. It's everything's grittier on the East Coast. Like, you know, some of the biggest bands are like from Boston or New York City or like Philly, just like tough towns. And then out in California, it's like this bubbly, sunny place with a lot of pop punk. And then a lot of the bands we're playing with at the New Rock City Festival are excellent. All of their music production is fucking great. And they're all on this playlist I made, UK Punks versus Americans Abroad. Very pop punky though, like good stuff. So hopefully we won't be a sore thumb being this like kind of Rust Belt, like fast skate punk melodic hardcore thing. So we'll see how we blend with all those people. Anything else I learned from the UK? You guys get along with Scotland?
He certainly does. He's from there.
Okay. Yeah. I just watched Braveheart and things are a little complicated.
Dude, I mean, that was like 1206. I mean, that's a very fucking long time ago when the English tried to invade us, the pricks. Yeah, I'm actually a Scotsman myself, but obviously my accent does not constitute me. I'm not, you know, but I am from there. But you will love our people. You will love one of the best things I've ever seen in Scotland is I was in Edinburgh and I was walking home with a mate of mine, and all you could hear was just shouting, like, what the fuck is that? And it's one guy by himself, fucked out of his face, having a right go at a mannequin in the window. It was amazing.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about some of the accents and understanding everyone. Even though you guys invented the language, I'm a little nervous about Newcastle.
Yeah, Liverpool.
being in the tune. Especially Scotland. A little anxious about that, but yes, everyone has said everyone in Scotland is very sweet.
We are great people.
And yeah, so hopefully people won't mind me going like, "What did you say?"
Edinburgh, you'll be fine. It's Glasgow, you'll be it's a bit difficult. Yeah.
There's this little clip of one of the guys from Top Gear or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like he's having a pint with a guy from Newcastle, or they're looking at a car or something, and the guy just yammers on, and he just goes, "Right, yes." So that might be us in Newcastle. We'll find out.
You'll be fine, man. Liverpool as well will be another interesting one with the Scouse accent. So
Yeah.
I'm a big wait, am I having this right? Are Oasis from Liverpool?
no,
Manchester.
no, they're from
They're from
Manchester.
Manchester?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might get murdered for that, just to let you know. So don't say that.
Oh, well, I was also going to wear my Newcastle jersey a bunch of the nights. So I'm just going to be a walking target.
I mean, Liverpool have won the Premier League now, so I think you might be all right. I think you might be okay. I'm just trying to think.
Did they win the Carabao Cup, though?
Newcastle did, yeah.
No, I was asking about Liverpool, but never mind.
No, I know you would. No, yeah. I'm not a Liverpool
Yeah.
fan, so I'm not. Just don't wear. You're not going to Sunderland, so you're fine. As long as you don't wear a Newcastle jersey in Sunderland or Middlesbrough, you'll be all right.
Yeah, our promoter in Newcastle is he is a Sunderland fan, even though the venue we're playing is Newcastle. Yeah, we'll see how that goes over, because all I'm going to want to talk about is Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali and all my favorite players that he probably sees at the grocery store all the time. Joe Linton.
Isak, can't forget Isak.
Hell yeah. I wish he scored more even. He sometimes doesn't show up in big games, but he's had some really big goals, and he did get the go ahead at the Carabao Cup. So
yeah,
that's a trophy. I'll take that.
And now Liverpool want to buy him off you, so hopefully he won't go. Just throwing that out there.
Well, they can pay him whatever he wants. So,
but you do have two American shows before you come over here. One in Syracuse, New York, and obviously played in Philadelphia as well. Pennsylvania, sorry, Camp Punksylvania, which I thought was a great name.
Yeah,
like warm-up shows.
Yeah, Camp Punksylvania will be really cool. We're playing right before Get Dead. We're a pretty awesome Fat Wreck band, and I think the Vandals are like the headliner that night. The night before, though, I wish we were on that night. That's fucking the Lawrence Arms and Dillinger 4 back to back. I will cry. Those are like two of my most important bands. And Camp Pennsylvania will be really fun. And then Syracuse is Jason's hometown. They're kind of famous by the university, the Orangemen, or the Orange, just Syracuse Orange now. They have a huge basketball program, and it's like kind of our third hometown. We play there a bunch, at least like one solid hometown show there every year. So hopefully we won't be rusty when we get over there. And hopefully the plane lands okay, because the planes in America have been really fucked up lately.
Yeah, you'd be all right getting over here, but it's going back. You'll be fine, man. Don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's all grand.
Thanks for your vote of confidence.
Not at all.
So, Mike, before we get out of here, a question I always like to ask all musicians. If people are listening to this and like, I like the sound of this guy, I'm going to go check out some of his music. What, say, 3 songs of On the Cinder you'd recommend people to listen to get the feel for what you guys are about?
Okay. Bravest New Face is like a very like vibe kind of song. It's got a lot of movements in it. If people like dynamic songs, Bravest New Face is one that kind of shows everything we got. Um, damn, I ooh, other songs. I have to remember any of them. Let's see. Smells Like American Spirit is that's like a culture song, and it's also got a nice chorus that people have really latched on to. It's all about where we come from. It's about the Buffalo house show scene and kind of where we uh, s- built a stomping ground to start our band. And one more. If I could remember any of them, that would be so good.
Yeah.
I have like
You're going on
I
tour soon. You kind of need to remember them.
yeah. Just Heavy Handed, I think, is a really solid album through and through. And if you give it a chance, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic album. I listened to it earlier on. It's, by the way, pure mess. Mwah, love that song.
You know what? That's a song I do care about a lot. That's definitely one of those like family oriented songs where it's like just how hard it can be to bring, life into the world and just knowing how fucked up the world is. But man, it's it's all we're here for. It's what we do. And yeah, Pure Mess, that song means a lot to me. I just couldn't think of it because I'm jacked up on this tea. I've been drinking tea and I'm all nervous now.
We'll get you a proper brew when you're over here. Mr. Stevens, any more questions for our wonderful guest?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to mention, obviously, that you've opened for like the Messengers, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Off With Their Heads, like some unbelievable bands. Like they must have had some seriously incredible experiences playing with bands like that.
Yeah. Usually everything works out. We just are kind of a name back home, and we get lucky. We have good contacts. We try to just keep being friends with everyone that is reasonable to us. We're actually going to open for Catbite in September, which will be cool. They're a very ska band, and they'll actually be in the UK like the same time as us.
Oh,
But
nice.
our tours will not like intersect at all. But yeah, I guess probably the band that's been like the best to us is like Authority Zero.
Yeah.
They have, you know, they do what we do. They do a DIY sort of band where you just work and you tour and you release music and you just uphold your brand and you take care of the people that take care of you.
I love that. Absolutely love that. And I have one more thing for you before we let you get out of here. When you first started this journey, when you get raised in Buffalo, New York, going to the University of Buffalo, meeting people, your drummer sleeping on your sofa, becoming a three-piece and becoming on the Cinder. Did you ever think this is where you'd be today?
Yes. Because this is all I've ever wanted to do.
Nice. Literally the easiest fucking answer anyone's ever given.
I love that. I love that. I love that confidence, that faith that this is what I want to do. I will do anything I fucking can to do it. And here I am. I'm doing it and I'm about to go tour the world. Fucking superb.
Yeah, I mean, you only get so much life, Everyone has their bar and every day it ticks down a little bit. So, spend time doing doing what you love and with the people you appreciate. So, yeah, that's what I think. That's how I live.
Incredible. Mike, plugs, social medias, websites. Where can people find you guys out there in the world?
On the Cinders, on Instagram. Our merch is through Bandcamp on the cinder.bandcamp.com. Just we're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. We're working out our UK provider or like a distro person, but we don't have that set yet. That will be figured out soon. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I can't wait for my guys to listen to this. I always gush on my dudes. So Ty, Jay, love you. And yeah, we'll be coming over soon. I can't wait.
It'll be awesome. And everyone listen to this, get your tickets to the tour because it's going to be fucking great. I have no doubt. Like I said, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Mike. Really appreciate you taking time out, and massive thank you for reaching out to us as well.
Yeah, keep doing your show. Your show is great. It's so fun, and I love the mix of guests that you have, and just you guys have a laugh. I love it.
Much appreciated.
Mike, this has been fucking so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been great. Look forward to seeing you when you come over here in July. It'd be a lot of fun to catch up and hang out and whatnot. I will see you in Reading. I'm in London, but I'm in West London, and Reading is oddly closer than Kingston is. But there we are.
Okay.
But yes, I will see you there. It'll be a good fun. Me and the other half are going to come join you. So
I'll come to Birmingham.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. If you wanted to, I'm sure our drummer Tyler would love to do a podcast and just pretty much talk about Shaun of the Dead for an hour. That is his favorite movie.
It's a great fucking film. I love Simon Pegg, so fair play.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hear my family trying to get out the door, but thank you so much. This has been awesome. You have a great show. Let's hang out soon, all right?
Okay, 100%. Look after yourself, my friend. You take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike.